Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. Let's get into some post-market action and recap what happened today. So big market's pretty sideways. Action not really moving back and forth. Google was up quite a bit, hit new highs 21, 16. Microsoft also broke out of a little bit of a channel, but Amazon and Apple, Facebook all closed red. The big gainer today was CPSH, which is CPS Technologies. They were awarded a contract for hybrid material armor for aircraft carriers, which is pretty cool. And especially with some unrest in the world right now, especially South China Sea, the U.S. sent a carrier strike force out there a couple of days ago, so could see some more military spending, especially in an arms race with China. So CPSH this morning get a halt right about 6:40, and then you see these big runs and then quick pullbacks. Big run, quick pullback, big run, quick pullback, and then me personally, after this drop right here and this kind of hugging staying below the trend line, I looked away and started looking at everything else, and I was wrong. Obviously, you see down here, held the 15.22 through midday, and then took off like a rocket in the afternoon. Still moving here in after hours, hit a new high at 18.83, and well, today was its all-time high. So we'll see if it keeps moving tomorrow, or if it gets exhausted, pulls back into range. Right, it's essentially doubled today. Let's go into the bios. So SAVA, Cassava Sciences. I actually forgot to talk about them this morning. Didn't get down through to the list, so I'm gonna look down and mark my stuff off on the list. But I got a comment in the video I did yesterday that included it about what could happen with it. So if you look at the yearly chart here, here on September 14th was the only day similar to yesterday where it had in terms of percent gain. So gapped up huge, $3 to $8, and then stayed inside for the rest of the week, and then gapped up again. So using history, thought that could happen, and then I thought off yesterday's pullback into the close, into the power hour, right? So 52, low 50 level would be kind of your bullish reversal level. Geez, can't say that word. But this morning had a little continued up with the aftermarket hours, came down, touched this 56 level, and never looked back. Set a new high here, or touched the high here, 8:45, pulled back right here in the curling, right? I wasn't watching it here at 9:15, but right here, this pullback into the 9, which is on the 1-minute chart, and if you come look at it on the 5-minute chart here, right, excuse me, into the 905, into the 9 on the 5-minute chart, right? Longer terms are uptrending. That's a good pullback to buy into. Goes and sets new highs, and then still running after hours right now. We might cross 100 here in a couple minutes. So we'll see how high that can goes, and with their drug being an Alzheimer's drug, there's nothing on the market that would compete with it, so they could essentially set the price, and you would think Pfizer and somebody else would be looking at potentially buying them out down the road for pretty premium. Another bio that's running today on no news, but I think it's more of a chart setup, was Anavex Life Science. You see their chart here on the bottom left. Get big run in the morning, pull back to the moving average, keep going up. But what I mean by a chart play with no news, you need here, right? So we get this cupping action here from the last 2 months. So yesterday it broke out away from the moving averages off the 9, hits 8, pulls back, right? So test this resistance. Most time you don't break through resistance on the first try. Hits it, pulls back, and then we get a gap up this morning. Pre-market stays above, barely breaks below 8 here, and takes off. So we'll see if this has legs for tomorrow with no news on it. They might put out some PR or something to pump it to keep the momentum going. Next, let's go to MVIS Microvision. They do LiDAR technology. They've been recent play the last couple months. Back in December, they started running. Similar chart pattern, pull back in the moving average, right? Start coiling, getting a little tighter. Volume dries up and it contracts, and then we take off. So here, also didn't have news today, but so more of a chart pattern play. Pretty high all throughout the morning, kept running, pulled back, kept going, and then kind of rolled over here in the afternoon. So we see here 974, so hits it, touches this previous high, pulls back. So we'll see if it can gap up tomorrow, or if it's going to exhaust and come back inside, or if they put out some news on it. Lizhi LIZI, which is a communication service company. They've been running the last couple of days. You see from the low threes up to 10. The high today, what 10:35. Get it, kind of gradual fade all afternoon as we get some profit taking, and then after hours we're tanking. So let's see if there's any news later today on it. No. So we'll see if that can stay above the $7 level, the high of yesterday. I think if it can stay above that, we could bounce and look to go higher throughout the, Thursday and Friday, especially Friday. Tomorrow might be an inside day, but Friday, if it's going to run, would be a good time for it. So some other stocks I talked about this morning. Sino, right? Their shipping company did a global play. Immediate sell-off in the morning. Fade, that's pretty typical for their plays. But still is up 57% today. As you look at the daily here on the right, off the 9 to put out the news. Huge gap up and run. I'd probably expect this to keep fading tomorrow. Vaxart. Did I type that in? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Vaxart, they had their news on oral COVID vaccine. Got the sell-off in the morning. Really hard pre-market on the news. Got a little bounce here off the 9s. So you could say here you had some resistance on the daily in the 9s. If you're looking for a reversal, these aren't typically reversals I'll look at a ton unless they're real quick. I would really more rather have the reversal pre-market where it drops and then finds buying support right away. But we'll get some fade here, but probably in the long term it's going to stay above this $7.50 area, $7.74 area from previous daily highs and lows right in here. Maybe pull back into the 50 moving average, 833 tomorrow. But we'll see. And then let's get into kind of some of the bigger name ones that people are watching. So Churchill Capital Group, right? They've been running recently on proposed merger talks. And if I wish this would always just reset to the daily. But we'll see here in the morning we get some up, and then about 8 o'clock you have this huge drop from the 32s to 38, or excuse me, 32s to 28. And, a span of 5 minutes, but apparently a hit piece came out on it about some of their financials, the proposed deal not going through. But as you can see, kind of got bought up real quick and then just continued to fade. So down 8% today, but still, looking at its chart from where it was when the original proposed news came out from about 10, still 3 times their money. And then the bar for today did form an inside bar. So we'll see how it opens tomorrow and then look for it to take out either the top or the bottom and choose a direction. Let's talk about AMC and GameStop real quick. Charts are very similar. Looks like some buyers stepped in. We'll see AMC here. GameStop's charts almost identical, same action. But if you go to the daily here, I think if you're going to play anything, AMC is still probably the play. Both have inside bars, but GameStop's, this bar is red, but it actually ended up 2%. It's where the open candle at 6:30 to close, but it's kind of staying under that 22. So I mean, it could look to go down to this 50 moving average at $67. Maybe make another leg lower to find something to bounce off of, right? Because it did have some support, the 61 where it closed, low 60s. Maybe get a bounce there. If you look at AMC on the daily, right? So it actually has like a doji candle inside. Actually makes it look like crap. Right, so we're sitting at 897, right? Only $1 away from the high, and how this thing moves and potential buying. If it goes across 977, I'd look potentially to see if it gas fills this $12.50 range for tomorrow. Start selling off. We'll see if it holds that 660 level. The bigger name, or higher price stock, I should say. So Virgin Galactic bounced and recovered off of the Spacex explosion from yesterday. Pretty easy trading in the morning, right? Get it up and it's respecting the moving averages all day, right? Touches the 5.9 once, stays high, 522 here. Easy pullbacks to buy, pretty good spreads. It's easy trading for the morning for sure. And then look at the daily. So we have an inside bar here. So especially if we open up higher or we get some aftermarket buying, which probably is, who knows right now. But pre-market, if we get above this 58.35 level, I'm going to look for it to go 62 and hopefully touch that 62.9 from pre-market Tuesday when it opened. And then just to check them out real quick, Jumia, and then we'll finish with Fubo. Jumia, inside bar again from yesterday, sell off the high. So I'll look to see if it takes out the low or the high, 61.60 or 66.25. Right, but still I think kind of a lower volume day here, so could be coiling up, looking for volume to come in if it makes a move. And then last, Fubo, kind of similar to Jumia, right? Inside bar, volume really drops, but this is heavily shorted too, still on the top shorted stocks list. And with the Super Bowl Sunday, it wouldn't surprise me if their management team was smart, they put out some like pumpy PR talking about how many subscribers will be watching the Super Bowl on Fubo or something like that, just to get some numbers out there and see this takeoff running again on some news like that. So if this crosses over the $50.50 area, I'm going to be looking for that to take out 51.3, 52.4, and then potentially 57.50 if it's got some legs on it. So those were the main stocks I was looking at today. Let me know in the comments what you were looking at, what plays you're in, or what you're considering going on later in this week. If you could drop a like, comment, or subscribe, that'd be great. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.